This is part 2 of the lecture on essential question number 2, which asks, how did colonial governments give English colonists experience in self-rule? We've talked about the 3 types of colonies, and now we're going to talk about the actual government contracts or ways that the governments were set up in a few of the colonies. We have, first of all, we're going to do this in time order. The earliest experiment or type of colonial government that involved self-rule was in 1619, and it was called the House of Burgesses. And the House of Burgesses was Virginia's legislature. You may or may not remember, but Virginia was the first colony settled in the New World, and it was a proprietary colony. Okay, so originally it was set up in 1607 at Jamestown, Virginia. But after a few years, they realized they weren't attracting enough settlers. So the company that owned Virginia was called the Virginia Company of London. And in 1619, that's our date for the House of Burgesses, they reformed the charter, or reformed their agreement to attract settlers. And one of the changes they made was to permit colonists to elect a legislature. Permit colonists to elect a legislature. In other words, rule themselves. Because Englishmen were used to electing members to the House of Commons in Great Britain. So, July 30th, 1619, was the first meeting of what would become the Virginia House of Burgesses. Virginia House of Burgesses. And what is a Burgess, you might ask? I'm so glad you did. A Burgess is just another word for representative. Okay. As far as key principles go here, we're talking about ruling ourselves, which is popular sovereignty. And we're talking about electing representatives, which is republicanism. Awesome. Okay, then